Hi, welcome back to the second video of the first part of normal distribution chapter. So let's say we have the example here. So it says that use tables to find P z less than 1.52, P z greater than 2.60, P z less than negative 0.75, P negative 1.18 less than Z less than 1.43. So again, we know that whenever we are having capital P, means that what we want to do is we want to calculate probability because capital P represents probability. Alright? And whenever we are having capital Z represents the Z score. So now we know that P, Z, what we want to do is we want to use the standardized normal distribution to calculate the probability. So whatever the value that we have here is we are going to use the table of SND to calculate the probability. So here is the table of SND. In your table, you go for the pages at the back, which is you look for the distribution function of the normal distribution. So this is the SND that we are going to use in our syllabus to find the probability. Alright? Okay. So the most important thing that you need to know to use the table or for this chapter to find the probability for continuous variable, for the Z score, you need to have 3 decimal places for the Z score value. Alright, if you have a very long decimal places, you need to round it up or round it down to 3 decimal places. Always round it up to 3 decimal places. Always 3 decimal places. If you only have 1 decimal places or 2 decimal places or no decimal places, it's okay. But if you have a very long decimal places, always round it down or round it up to 3 decimal places. Depends on your 4th decimal places. If your 4th decimal places is 4 or below, round it down. Remains the same, the 3rd decimal. If your 4th decimal is 5 or above, you need to round it up to the 3rd decimal places. Alright, but always 3 decimal places. Alright, okay. And how you want to read your table? Okay, so let's say you have your Z score here with 0.573. 3 decimal places. Alright, okay. So, first decimal places, always look on the first column in your table. Okay. The second decimal places, always look on the first row in your table. And the third decimal places, always look on the first row in your table in the add column. Alright? Okay. So, if you notice that whatever I circle with the color is outside the table. So, Z score is always outside the table. Whatever inside the table, that is your probability value. So, you need to know how to differentiate where is the value of Z score, where is the value of probability. Because later you need to know where is the probability, where is the Z score, because later you need to know to find the value. You cannot be confused. Where is the Z score, where is the probability. Alright, so outside the table, that is Z score. Inside the table, that is probability. Alright, so for the first decimal, first column, second decimal, first row, third decimal, first row in the add column. Alright, so that's how you want to read the probability value. Alright, okay, so now let us go how to read the probability value. Alright, so we go with the first question. So the first question asks us to use the table to find the probability for Z less than 1.52. Okay, so for first question, the probability for Z less than 1.52. Okay, so whenever we have the probability for Z with the value, first thing that you need to do, always draw your standardized normal distribution. Okay, always draw the standardized normal distribution. So when we draw the standardized normal distribution, so you know that standardized normal distribution, the mean is 0. That is standardized normal distribution. Okay, now the second step is put your Z value. So you know the Z value is 1.52. So 1.52 is positive value. So positive value is going to be on the positive side, which is on the right side of 0. So positive side on the right side, so might be around here. That is 1.52. Okay, that is the value of your Z score. Now, what you need to have is the shaded area of the probability that you want to find. So look at the symbol of the Z score. So it says that less than the 1.52. Less than means that to the left of 1.52. So this is the shaded area of less than 1.52. Why the whole area less than 1.52? Because it says that less than 1.52. It never mentioned until what value. It just says that less than 1.52 means that the whole thing less than 1.52. Alright, so that is our shaded area. Now, after we shade the area for our probability that we want to find, what we do next is we compare the shaded area for our question with the shaded area in our table. So if we compare our question with our table, it having the same shaded area, which is positive value of Z, and the shaded area is less than. So if we are having the same shaded area, so we just can straight away look into the table for the probability value. Okay, so again, for the Z value, which is 1.52, so again, first decimal, which is 1.5, look on the first column. So 1.5 on the first column is here. That is 1.5. Alright. And the second decimal, which is 2, look on the first row. So 2 on the first row is here. Okay. So the intersection value between 1.5 and 2 is going to be this value here. So you can see it's 0.9357. So that is the probability value for less than 1.57. So meaning that the probability less than 1.57 is 0.9357. Alright. Let's say we have the probability of Z less than 1.523. So I add another one value, 1.523. We have the third decimal. So the third decimal, we know that the third decimal, we need to look into the first row in the add column. So the first row in the add column, number 3 is here. Okay, so for this value, what we need to do is, we need to look in the number 3 column, but we can see that in the number 3 column, we have so many value. We have 12, 12, 12, 11, 11, 10, 10, 9, 8, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5, 4, 4, 3. So which value that we need to take? We need to take the value on the same row with our first decimal value. So if we can see that we need to take the value with the same decimal, with the same row of this 1.5. So means that for the third decimal 3, we are going to take the value of 4 here. So we are having here 4. So this 4 since that 4 is still inside the table, so means that 4 is probability value. But if we think that 4 is more than 1, how come 4 can be probability? Because it's more than 1. So this value in the add column means that it's a very small value. It's actually not 4, but it is actually 0.0004. So this value of 0.004, we add at 0.9357. So we add with this one. So what we do is, we add with our probability, which is we add at the back of the last digit with our probability. So that 4 we put here. Okay, so the remaining that is empty space, we put 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so we add these two values. So what we will have is 1, 6, 3, 9, 0. So that is the probability for Z less than 1.523, which is the probability is 0.9361. So that's how you come up with the probability if you have 3 decimal places. Alright, so that's how you use the table to find the probability. So that is for the first question. So let us move on to the second question. Okay, so for the second question, we want to find the probability for our z-score greater than 2.60. So again, whenever we have the z, probability for z greater than a value, first thing that we need to do, always draw our standardized normal distribution. Okay, so for our SND, so we know that our mean value is 0. So then we put our z value. So again, our z value is positive. So it's going to be on the positive side. So 2.6 might be around here. So 2.60. Okay, then we need to shade our probability that we want to find. Shade the area. So again, the symbol that we have shows that what we want to do is greater than the value. So greater than means that we are going to have the shaded area on the right side of the 2.6. So means that the shaded area going to be here. Okay, now what we need to do is we need to compare the shaded area from our question with the shaded area from the table. So if we compare our shaded area with the table shaded area, it is not the same. So if it's not the same, so what we need to do if we want to use the table shaded area, so if we compare, what we can see is the table shaded area in our question shaded area is our white area in our question. So meaning that to have our shaded area, the whole area under the curve, which is 1, we need to minus with the white area. Then we will have the shaded area. Which is what it means that 1 minus with the white area, which is white area is here. This is the white area. Okay, so 1 minus the white area here. Now it becomes green. So 1 minus the green area, which is the green area here, is the shaded area in the booklet, in the table. Okay, then we will come up with the shaded area that we want. Okay, so then we will come up with the probability value. Okay, which is the green area here is the probability in the table, which is the probability of the z less than 2.60. Okay, now for the green area, its positive value of z, and then it is less than the value. So this green area is the shaded area in the table. Then we can use the probability value in the table. Okay, so now for 1 no issue. 1 is a value, a constant value, probability value 1, the whole area. So 1 minus with the green area. So green area again we refer to the table. So first decimal 2.6. So 2.6 first decimal refer to the first column. So first column is here. So you have first column is here. So 2.6 is here. And the second decimal is 0. So second decimal is 0 on the first row is here. So meaning that your probability what you have is 0.99534. So meaning that your green area is going to be 0.99534. So 1 minus 0.99534. So what you will have is 6, 936, 954, 9000. So that is the final answer. Sorry. So that is the final answer for the probability of this shaded area, which is 0.00466. So if you can see that the shaded area that we are looking for is not exceed the middle line, so it should be less than 0.5. So the probability also less than 0.5. So our probability is correct. So that is the second question. So now let us go to the third question. Okay, moving on to the third question. So what we want to find is the probability for z less than negative 0.75. So again, always draw our standardized normal distribution. So again, we have our standardized normal distribution. So again, what is our z score is negative 0.75. So negative value going to be on the left side of 0. So since that standardized normal distribution, the mean is 0. So negative value going to be on the left side of 0. So negative 0.75 might be around here. So this is negative 0.75. And then the shaded area that we want to find is less than negative 0.75. So less than going to be on the left side of the value. So this is the shaded area that we want to find. Okay, now since that our z value is negative and in the table we don't have any negative value of z score, what we have is only positive. So to use our table to find the probability, we need to flip from the negative value of z to the positive value of z. So we need to flip our distribution. Flip from the negative to the positive side. So when we flip our distribution, so we flip from negative to the positive side, so we will have positive 0.75 z score. Alright, so now our shaded area going to be on the right side of positive 0.75. Alright, because we flip. Okay, we are not changing the direction, we just flip the side. So when we flip, so it's going to be change the side. So now it become on the greater on the 0.75. Alright, okay, so now we have positive of z score. Now we have shaded area. When we compare with our table shaded area, again the shaded area is not the same. Okay, so in our shaded area here, if we compare with our table shaded area here, our white area here is the table shaded area. Okay, so again, it's the same with our question number 2. To use the table, we need to use the whole area under the curve, which is 1, minus with the white area, then we will come up with the shaded area greater than 0.75. That is the same with the shaded area less than negative 0.75. Why they are the same? because they are symmetrical distribution. Okay, so for this one, it's going to be 1 minus the probability of Z less than 0.75. So 1, no issue, 1. Minus with the Y area, which is less than 0.75. So again, 0.75, first decimal is on the first column, which is 0.7. So 0.7 is here. That is 0.7. Oh, sorry. It's very sensitive, this one. 0.7. And then second decimal is 5. So second decimal is on the first row. So 5 is here. Alright. So our probability is going to be 0.773. Alright. So now our probability for the Y area is 0.773. 7734. Alright. So meaning that our probability value is going to be 6,936,22. So our probability is 0.2266. So that is the probability for this shaded area, and it is the same with this shaded area. So that is the probability for less than negative 0.75. So let us move on to the last question. Okay, moving on to the last question, which is we have probability of negative 1.18 less than Z less than 1.43. So if we have two values here, it means that our Z value, or our value what we want to have, the probability lies between two values. So when we have two values, it lies between two values. So this one we are going to have in shaded area is in between, in the middle. Alright, okay. So the same thing, when we have the Z value, we always need to draw our shaded area. We need to always draw our standardized normal distribution. Okay, so the same thing, draw our standardized normal distribution with the shaded area for our Z score. So one is negative value, one is positive value. So negative is going to be on the left side, positive is going to be on the right side. So negative going to be on the left side. So here is negative 1.18. 1.43 is going to be on the right side, 1.43. Okay, so lies between means that our shaded area is between these two values, in the middle of these two values. So this is the shaded area that we want to have. Alright, so whenever we are having in the middle or lies between these two values here, so the probability that we want to find, meaning that always the higher Z score less than minus with the lower Z score probability less than. So meaning that the higher Z score less than means that the probability of the Z score less than the higher one, 1.43, minus with the lower Z score less than means that probability of Z less than negative 1.18. That is the probability of in the middle. Alright, so for the Z less than 1.43, so this one no issue because positive of Z score less than. So this one I believe we can straight away use the table. So I believe you already know how to use the table. So let us refer to the table. So 1.43, so 1.4 is here, 3 is here. So our probability is 0.9236. 0.9236. 0.9236. And minus with probability of Z less than negative 1.18. So if you still remember, if we have negative Z score, we need to flip to the positive side, meaning that we are having 1 minus Z less than 1.18. So means that this one we are having 1 minus, so less than 1.18. So again, we are having 1.18, so 1.18. So our probability is going to be 8810. 8810, 0.8810. So now we can calculate for the probability. So we are having 0.9236 minus with 1 plus 0.8810. So we will have the probability 0.8046. So that is the probability for this shaded area. Alright, so that is the first part for the chapter 5. So I'll see you for next video for finding probability for the real situation using the real variable. And for the next video for the last part for finding the value of variable when you are being given the probability value.